people? Anyone? Hello, hello. Anyone? Anyone here? Anyone there? Seems like I'm gonna be alone here. Yeah.
No, that's fine. At least I came.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for writing and reminding you, but you know, I thought I was not sure. Maybe something was not functioning properly with this Zoom meeting, and I had someone logging in and then instantly logging out. So.
No, actually, everything was perfect with you. Actually, the point, like I said, was that I had a class, Serbian class on verbling.
People. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah, so I couldn't come earlier, but I really hope we are going to have more people later.
Later, it's half an hour after the start. I don't know. I don't think we will have more people.
Okay. Regarding to the hours, well, it's not a grateful thing. It's not a grateful question because, you know, time is very relative, you know, so it also depends, like, you know, like, do you really want to learn the language, and what kind of level do you want to reach, right? So if you want to have like just kind of I would say it was some kind of basic conversation, you know, or something like this. If you have classes very intensive, like maybe twice per week, and maybe twice per 1 hour and 30 minutes or something like this, then probably yes, you can speak it very well. I mean, okay, in 1 month, maybe 2 months or something like this. But for high level, definitely we need to dedicate our time, you know, and to learn a lot, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do agree. There's first of all, I do agree. There's this approach. Have you heard about Benny Lewis? You definitely heard about Benny Lewis. You've seen him probably. Yes, Benny.
Who?
Benny Lewis, the Irish.
Yeah, I know him. I know
course.
him. I mean, just from stories, and yes, I saw him on Polyglot during that Polyglot gathering, but I have never talked to him. So
Did you have students? I did. Who come? Okay, and say I want to speak from day one. I've seen Benny's blog, and I want to start speaking. What do and yes, and do you have this experience of students who want to go according to Benny's ideas? Also, my opinion is that he's a great motivator. He's a great motivator, but people are not always aware what is going to be the result of this 3 months. Yes, you can fool people that you are a native maybe for 5 seconds. Yes, you can do that. But what then? And yeah, how?
You know, actually, yes, I do also that method. Also, Benny's method as well with my some kind of students. And what is the point that I go directly also with, for example, with the conversation like, what is your name? My name is. What is your age? My age is this. You know, and something like this. Like, why do you study Serbian? I study Serbian because of this. You know, possible answers, and so on, you know. And I think basically it is necessary for travelers, you know, who is going to travel and they want to speak, you know, at least for a little bit. People who really like my culture and so on, usually they really want to learn. And also good students and very motivated students are students who are in love with Serbs or somebody from Bosnia and Herzegovina, or who has some kind of relatives here, you know, parents, aunts, I don't know, cousins, whatever.
And they are prepared to study much more, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because basically they also listen a lot from their family, and they are just, oh wow, this sounds so great. Like, let's
It's so
extend it.
rewarding to have those students. Yes, definitely. I mean, most of my students, most of them are enthusiastic. Like if someone is not enthusiastic, they don't last long enough. You know. Hmm.
Yeah. What about you? Tell me now, your experience about this.
About this,
So,
yeah, my experience is that, um, just as you said, I mean, I try to avoid answering if a student asks, like straightforwardly, if a student comes and asks, how long will it take me to learn the language? Many times I've been answering. First of all, try to avoid to give a one-way answer because I don't know. Usually students ask it like before even we meet our first meeting. Yes, they ask it in writing when they ask for the first lesson. They say, and how long will it take me? It depends. I said, if you learn very hard every day, and if you are, for example, zero beginner, it may take you 3 months to go beyond the basic level and start speaking if you study hard. But at the end, I cannot give the answer. You who have to give the answer because you are the one who knows, not me. 'Cause,
yeah.
yeah. But there are actually, but that's usually those who ask the questions are the naive students, or students who don't have any experience with other languages. So we have to be, kind to them and explain the things because they just they don't know, and they want to have a good feeling that they can do it. So we have this. I have to balance it. On the one hand, not to scare them away. On the other hand, the truth is that it takes a very long time actually to learn a language. So I remember taking lesson in Bulgarian with a very experienced teacher, Helena. She is amazing, one of the best teachers I had. She has like really, she taught thousands and thousands of lessons. She's very experienced. And when I told her about Benny, what do you think about Benny? And she said, well, 3 months is not a time. Never. It's never enough.
Yeah. Well, I think Benny actually pointed exactly on this, so you can have some kind of small conversation, so you don't go like, that, and something like this, so.
Yeah, but it's not a lie. So to make myself absolutely clear, I love what Benny does. I love what he does. He gives motivation to people who have no experience learning a language. It's amazing. He does an amazing work. It's like popularization of learning languages. He does a great job. But then it's not the end of the way. There's there is work to do. Another thing I thought that there are numbers. I think I can share my screen. Wait a second. Where's this? Share screen. Yes, this is share screen. Have you been at the lecture of this guy Richard DeLong? Have you been there? Probably no. No, there wasn't. Probably, have you been there? He gave a lecture. An American guy, gave a lecture in Russian at the Polyglot Gathering. Remember that guy?
Yes, but I didn't attend this lecture.
Okay, doesn't matter. So here, then he gave some numbers. It's not his personal. I think he gathered it from information, but that's in Russian because he gave the lecture in Russian. He's from America. He learned it.
No, that's fine. I speak Russian.
Yes, I know. I've seen it in your profile. So I'm just explaining that it's not just the Russian speaker writing in Russian. It's Richard DeLong, who learned Russian to a very, very high level. It's amazing. So these are the numbers. So A1 60 hours, A2 you see, B1, B2. So it's not just that, you can. So we have those levels, the ABC, which is more or less should be the reference point, right? For how long it takes for the benchmarks when you pass from one level to another. And that's the number of hours it takes. And
right.
Do you tell your students about that? The numbers are quite tough. I mean,
No, actually, I do not say my students about this because I don't want to scare them.
Exactly.
With all of these numbers,
Sure.
I.
Yeah. But I mean, it takes until the beginning. I mean, the beginning period, the A period, is kind of quick, and then
Mhm.
starts the hard work, which is much longer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal,
Yeah.
So.
Well, I try to keep it secret, actually.
Yeah, that's the point. So you keep it secret, and actually, what is the point is to, how to say, to make them sure that during your lesson is going to be very interesting and very fun. So they become like dependent on your classes, So.
Yeah, but that's. On the other hand, I do want to be like to my students to be like autonomous and like learn and be able to learn on their own, because polyglots, they learn on their own. And I feel like the students who come to me as a teacher, they also need me to explain what to do and direct them, not only teach them, but also to teach them how to learn, actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Yeah, I know. I also. What do you think? I also act like a clown usually with my students, And
yeah, of course.
So
what kind of entertainment? I don't think polyglots needs us so much, really.
Yes, but I have also many students who are not polyglot. Actually, for example, I have a Croatian student who struggles even with English a lot, So I remember my first lesson with Ante. He was like very, very. I wouldn't say shy, but maybe a little bit reserved. Like what now? Is it going to be like at school or something like that? Especially because I came up with, okay, what are your goals? Okay, why do you study this? And so on, very formal, And, then once I noticed that he was struggling still and he was like a little bit reserved, I started with like that, like what do you like, what you don't like, and so on. We started to speak in our native language, So then I also realized he started to feel a little bit more relaxed, So, so I also started to make a joke, For example, I noticed his mistake with beach and beach, So, so I was like, okay, very interesting. So that means that you would like to spend your vacation with the beach at the beach.
And he was learning English, right? Yeah.
No, that explanation was in English and in Serbian. I mean Serbo-Croatian. So
which language is he learning?
He's learning English.
English. Yeah.
So that was really hilarious.
Yeah,
I was also about to cry because
some students are like that. Yeah, some students have amazing sense of humor. We have to feel the students. Some students who flow with you with the jokes. Some students are serious. They won't like.
Yes, I also have one student who is really, really, really serious. He's from Finland, and he also struggles with conversation because I am always the person who needs to ask the questions and so on, and he always gives short answers and. And yes, step by step, yes, he started to accept my jokes and so on. And now, yes, even he started to make some kind of jokes. So I'm really happy because of that.
Good for you. No, I think that's maybe the whole topic for discussion. I really want to make it, or even for half of the next discussion, this students, the silent students, what do we do with students who give us yes or no questions? Because after all, conversation is the most important.
Well, like I said, try to be relaxed with them. So try also to act some kind of clown,
to
make
all the time.
Pardon?
Do you speak all the time?
No, I also give them open questions, like what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And so on. So this is also
Right now,
very important thing.
I have a student now that may be the toughest ever. I'm saying, and questions like open questions, and what do you think about something? Nothing. And how would you do? What would you do in such and such situation? I don't know. It never happened to me.
And I would say to him, imagine that it happened to you.
And
so what would you do in this
He says, I'm not good at imagining. That's what he said just last week. I'm not good.
Really?
I can't imagine. Yeah, I have a sense that I can't imagine.
But in this case, what you can do is try to compare the situation from the life to to that part that you are learning. For example, I did it with the conditional sentences. Yes, because he struggled a lot with third conditional tense, and so he didn't know the difference. What is the first condition? What is the second condition? What is the third condition? And I told him, first condition is 100% possible to do, second condition is 50-50, so yes, it is possible, but maybe not, but still if something happened, you have time to change it, and the third condition is impossible. That's enough, and for some time he didn't know how to remember. Imagine now that you were with another woman, and your wife probably found out this. So I told him that sentence like, if I had thought better, my wife wouldn't have realized that, something like this.
Crazy. But it's so good for memory, for memorizing, for understanding. It has a very strong impact. So it's wonderful that you're open.
Yes, actually, that's the point, And I also remembered when I explained to my friend also the passive voice. He didn't know what is it, and I told him, okay, the passive voice is, for example, I was slapped. And actually I explained to him what is slapped by this. Doing this to myself. And he was like, oh, wow, what example!
You really entertain them. I think I'm less entertaining. Also,
well, actually, yes, I try to entertain them. I want them to be like this. Always, all the time, and to make questions, so because it's not the point if I'm like this, and so it is like boring. Because I want them to feel comfortable also with me and to have fun,
Definitely.
So that's the point.
That's what makes you a great teacher. Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
and what is your method? What do you do? How do you keep your students?
With the silent ones, or for whom?
Both of them. So who are silent or not silent. So what is your method of work?
It's not one. It depends on the student. And I'm very Daniela Fries, she visited us last time, and she has a great blog entry about, I don't remember the exact name, but it's about some teachers have structured approach and some teachers improvise. So here I identify 100% with that side of improvising teacher, because I don't prepare. I do prepare, but in terms of giving homeworks and checking homeworks, but in terms of conversation, informal conversation, I never come up. Most cases, even if I have a just in case subject in mind. I have in mind what I can talk about. But first of all, I ask the students what's up and what's happening and how do you feel what's happening enough, and I try to make them talk about themselves, because I think first of all, it's more interesting. Second, they are. We like to talk about ourselves. Like that's in if we prepare students for real life conversations are usually about us. Like if it's a dialogue. So I think it's most useful. So at some, and when a student starts telling you something, then you always have some hints, something to grab and to develop it further. Yes, something from what happened to them last week, and then ask more general questions about their opinions and stuff. But I am improvising a lot, and to make it as relevant for the student as possible, but which makes it is challenging. It is challenging because sometimes it's like stand up, like a certain stand up when you have to sometimes they ask the audience and they have to make up the joke as on the go, right? So
yeah. So yeah, basically that's the same thing that I do also with my students. I always improvise my lessons, and also for example with one of the students, I improvised that we were at the boutique, and I was a saleswoman, and he was a buyer, and so on, and then yes, he tried to buy something, but before that, of course, I gave him some kind of words so he can have some kind of vocabulary, and we practice it, and we will continue with this on our next class.
Do you give the vocabulary before the lesson or during the lesson?
In the lesson.
In the lesson. So you look at the words together, you explain them, and then. I see. That's something I don't do. Maybe I should, actually. To have.
Pardon?
This is something I do not do, but probably I should do it. But again, since I improvise, since I nearly never do the role plays, but they are good. Again, I have to think about that. Usually I try to squeeze out of the students something like relevant and personal to them. And for that I can't prepare and I can't have vocabulary, but I do write the vocabulary in Skype chat. And I do encourage them, if you don't know a word, say this word in English or Russian, whatever, and then I'll give you this. I'll give you this word instantly, and I'll write it down. We will learn this word. Or if I speak, I really insist that if I say a word that they don't understand, that they indicate that they don't understand and ask me, because I do I do adjust the level of speaking. Yes, if it's a beginner student, I would speak slower and with less words and simpler words. So if I say something and he doesn't understand, say please ask. If there's one word you don't understand, please ask. And that goes to the Skype chat as well. And then afterwards, I look at this. After the lesson, I browse this memory, and I do give them a word list. And I ask them to write this, again, for advanced, not for beginners, for speaking, not different advanced, but for speaking students. I ask them to write sentences using the vocabulary we had at the lesson, either mentioned by me or that he or she needed. Yeah, something like that. Are you doing word lists for students?
Yes, I also do this also with the beginners. Yes, so for example, what I also do, like how to say I am that and that, you are that and that, he is that and that. That's also some kind of good practice, for beginners. So how to know it. At least how to say I am Susan, for example, you are Alisa, and so on. And basically, yes, we go step by step also with that. But well, if they are not very, very demanding persons, demanding people, then also I pay attention a lot on our alphabets. So I teach them both Latin and Cyrillic. That is if we talk about Serbian, of course, because we use both letters. If we talk about Spanish,
I didn't know that. You say it's a known fact. I didn't know that.
Really?
No. How would I? Never been to Serbia, and then I don't know. How can you use two alphabets like in a newspaper, in which alphabet do you use?
It depends. Some
Depends?
newspaper, yes, because some newspapers use Latin, some newspapers use Cyrillic.
Wow.
So it depends. We can choose which one do we want.
I am shocked.
But,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because if you go to walk, around there, like on the street, the names of the streets are written in Cyrillic. The institutions are written in Cyrillic. I mean, shops usually are written in Cyrillic. But, for example, many books are written in Latin version. Computer, of course, Latin. Basically because of the English language. Books normally are in Latin, so everything is Latin, and I'm like, ugh, why Latin that much? If the Cyrillic is like the first one that we started to use.
Yeah, you started using Cyrillic first. When did you move to Latin? Why?
Why? Well, I'm not quite sure, but I think that we did it. I think we did it because we wanted to give that opportunity to the foreign people to understand us a little bit easier,
I see. Wow.
Yes.
And they ended up in such an absurd situation of using two alphabets. It's crazy, absolutely.
Yeah, and actually, a part of us, Montenegrins, do the same. And Montenegrins actually added two new letters like sh and zh, and it is like, oh wow, they are so crazy. And yes, they kept also some Russian words, and they modified a little bit the language, but basically yes, we can understand them perfectly. And Bosnians are even more crazy because in Bosnia you have three letters. You have Serbian, Latin, and Arabic letters.
Oh no.
Yes, and the point is that in Bosnia and Herzegovina, especially in Sarajevo and places like this, there are many Muslims.
Interesting. Thank you. That's good. I will be. I'm recording the video, and am I recording? Yes, I am recording the video, and I'm making I will make a table of contents, and we'll definitely like an off-topic, fascinating off-topic on the subject of Serbian languages, etc. Because it's very, very interesting. Sorry for forcing you into teaching again, because you're probably tired of teaching for today.
No, that's fine. Actually, after this video conference, I'm going to go to the class, Russian class, and I took that lesson, so I'm going to practice my Russian, on italki.
I've heard you speaking Russian. You speak Russian, like Russian is good. You're still taking speaking lessons? Yeah.
Oh, well, do you mean now?
Yeah, I believe I've heard you speaking Russian, haven't I?
Ну ладно, давай поговорим по-русски.
Нас никто не поймет, нас не поймут. Можно. Можно немножко, я потом вырежу этот кусочек.
Да.
Ну ты молодец, просто молодец, ты полиглот и... Ой, просто молодец.
Спасибо.
И как ты не устаешь с таким преподаванием? Много уроков, много учеников, со всеми импровизировать. Как?
Просто потому что я люблю говорить, и у меня большая энергия, да. Я чувствую себя как...
Да, как преподаватель.
Как преподаватель, да. Я чувствую, как... Я приходила тут, чтобы немножко поговорила, чтобы мне было приятно, забавно и так дальше, а потом, да, одинаково.
Я тоже так начала, но сейчас мне надо быть вовремя, и нужен интернет, и это очень ограничивает.
Да, я знаю, но я не знаю, мне всегда очень-очень забавно, и поэтому я не чувствую себя так, как я работаю.
Это здорово. Ученики это чувствуют, и они, наверное, очень рады и благодарны тебе.
Да, да, и тоже этот хорват скажет мне, что я настоящее сердце и так дальше, что он просто любит учиться английскому языку со мной, и я не знаю, что еще, и...
Ай, жалко, нет, я не готова учить сербский, но если бы я, да, то только у тебя как бы таких passionate teachers, да, для которых это вся жизнь, и которые хотят, которые друзья с учениками, таких учителей не так, чтобы много.
Да, я знаю, но, знаешь, мне кажется, если ты станешь подругой кому-нибудь от твоих учеников, все будет легче, потому что рано или поздно они будут дать, возможно, свой номер телефона, и вы можете сообщаться гораздо легче, и возможно, ты выучишь что-нибудь об культуре, и особенно, когда ученики приезжают, чтобы познакомиться с тобой, это просто чудесно.
Чудесно, да. Okay. To finish off the topic we started, I had two more observations or questions about the one before. How long does it take to learn language, etc. It's coming back to this table of ABC and how long it takes, etc. This ABC division.
Okay.
Do you have an opinion about that? What do you think about this ABC? A1, A2, B1, B2?
I think that it is like too much, like too many levels, you know. I think that actually what you actually Russians do is totally fair enough. It is quite enough, you know, that we have like basic level, intermediate, and advanced. That's it, you know. And actually what European people did is just the matter of the money, you know. So they wanted to earn more money on courses and something like this. So that's why they did it.
I think so. Because I don't like the criteria. I don't like the way it's written. Yes, it reflects some of the truth, but it's so fuzzy, so vague, so it's like, you know, it's like horoscope. Yes, like when you read it, you recognize yourself. Yes, I am like that, and I am like that, and I'm like that. But there is no ground, there is no basis. Like, I mean, beginner, intermediate, advanced. For me as a teacher, that's what exists. And
yeah, exactly.
The students ask, which level am I? Am I B1 or B2? I say, I don't know, intermediate for me. And another thing after that, which I have my list of questions actually. So another, that this ABC, as you mentioned, it was made in order to make for courses and to making money. Not only courses, probably it was made also for exams, to check the level of the exam. But
I think it's more about money, because even for exams, I noticed that you Russian folks do perfectly also for the exam. So you, after that, you give the certificate. If somebody obtained the level 1 or level 4 or something like this, you know, it's perfectly fine, you know, from the levels, you know, like this. And not like A1, like A2, B1, B2. So like it's too much. No?
The question is, do you have it in Serbian or in another language to teach? Do you have any accreditation or exams, like country on the level of the country? Like English have the IELTS and this ILTC and other exams. Do you have it for Serbian or something?
Yes, but this. You know, this is something that you can you can do you can prepare yourself at the faculty for the philology, you know, or something like this, and thanks to them also you can get that certificate, you can pass that exam and so on. I would say especially because we are not that famous, we are not that popular, you know, and so on. And if we talk about levels, we have only until C1. That's it. So we have A1, A2, B1, B2, and C1. That's it.
No, no C2. Okay, who has C2?
And if you want C2, then you have to study at that faculty of like philology faculty, and then you're going to obtain like specific kind of certificate that you really know Serbian and you want to teach it.
I think C2 is irrelevant actually for people who just want to know the language. You know, when you're a C1, you don't care any longer. You don't take lessons when you're C1. Who needs that? And for me, I asked because again, for Hebrew, the situation is absurd. We have no certification. There is
really
no, yes, we don't have it. Those who want to, because this country is full of immigrants. So if you're an immigrant, you study in, it's called Ulpan. That's the subsidized school for new immigrants, and then you go working. Yeah. So so either you are capable to go work or not, or then if children arrive, they just learn in school. They go to the Hebrew speaking school and they just start speaking. I mean, or there is an Hebrew language exam, entrance exam for universities or colleges. Each college has its own exam, but like on the country level, we have nothing, and it's a disadvantage, I think, because some students are achievement oriented. Some students want to do an exam, and they ask me often, "How can I want to prepare for an exam. I want to pass an exam. Then I will know that I know this." Which is, I know it's funny. I know it's funny, and it's not about, knowing the language is something we know. And no exam can tell us. That's my opinion. Yeah? Do you agree with me?
Yes, actually, I think, yes, also the same speaking and managing with the situation can speak a lot about us, because yes, you can have also probably C1 or C2 maybe, but if you don't know how to speak with the people, like everything is like, nah. Well, everything is, I wouldn't use bad language because you're recording, but a big disappointment, I would say. Because I know also, for example, one girl who used to study Norwegian, I would say, and she I don't know for how long has she been learning that language, but I remember she told first, "Oh, I went to the capital city, and I understood nothing. So why, for the God's sake, did I study this? And so on." And I was, and I'm like, okay. And after that, she actually tried to improve even much more. And I don't know what did she do, but at the end, yes, she started little by little also to understand them. So actually, a part of studying, I think that the main point is that you speak with the native speakers. But for example, if we talk about Russian folks, so don't talk like people with the people from Moscow or just people from Novosibirsk. So just mix, from different places, and that's how you can pick up new words. You can imitate them, and that's how actually we learn.
Yeah, definitely. You're right.
And also another mistake also that people do is that they don't dare to talk about something serious, like maybe business or sport or something like this. They focus only on the relationship between men and women, and probably about common life, and something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big mistake. I think people should also talk about complicated topics.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even if you are intermediate level, then yes, I think you can also start with this, but little by little. But yes, you can start also with that kind of topic.
Just, trying with simple words. With simple words, we can say quite a lot, even on difficult topics. Yeah, I do have students who say, no, this is not a topic I can talk about. So yes, you can. Just think, simplify. And we can speak about pretty much everything. I don't have it even in my head when speaking with a student. I don't limit myself to certain, to easy topics or to difficult topics. I agree.
Yeah.
It's just we have to, like, vocabulary is vocabulary. We have to, I mean, beginners, very, very beginners who can't say, I don't know, I eat lunch at 5. Yes, I wouldn't teach them. I would be very selective choosing the vocabulary, but that's for beginners. At the moment you start speaking and you are conversational, any topic will do, anything.
Exactly.
Because it's life. We want to be prepared for life speaking this language, and life is not going to be selective. Life will not, confront you with comfortable topics. Life is life, so it's unpredictable.
Yeah, in one word, they should get out from that comfort zone.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly. That's I think we covered it all. I think when there are only 2 of us, it goes just fast. I think if there were if we were 6, yes, it would last longer. But okay, I'll stop the recording and I'll be off to editing.
Okay, I'm looking forward to watch this.
You're the star.
Yeah. Good joke, star.
Okay, thank you for showing up, and good luck with your Russian lesson.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.